Life has many stories. Here's one that might just change how you see yours. I was having this usual back and forth with my sister the other day when something she said struck a deep chord in me. She told me to keep an eye on someone who had just left the scene. She wanted to tell me something about her later. The woman had walked off with a man, hand in hand, seemingly carefree, bold, and free-spirited. But the story behind her wasn't as lighthearted as her appearance suggested. This woman used to be a member of my sister's church. Not just any member. She was once the wife of a respected elder. Together, they had 2 kids. But now, she was divorced. And that man she walked off with? Definitely not her ex-husband. You'd think the story ends there, but it doesn't. See, when the elder was about to marry, he was a hot cake in the church. Every young lady wanted him. Educated, upright, a doctor, and full of promise. But this particular lady stood out. Not because she did anything extraordinary, but because she had presence, beauty, style, charisma, and a burning passion for church activities. She carried herself like someone who would be a great wife, and even more so, a perfect mama for the church. Naturally, she won his heart. The man went on to fund her education, groomed her, built her up, and gave her all he could. But what he didn't know was that people change. And even worse, you can't change them, even with all the love, all the grooming, and all the sacrifice. Eventually, she left. She walked out of the marriage. And now, here, she was living life loud and free, doing what she wanted, far from the life the elder thought he'd helped her build. And that's the whole point of this piece. 1, people change, but you can't change them. What do you do when the person you gave your best to no longer wants to be the person you gave it to? What happens when the one you thought you knew decides they want something else? How do you hold on to someone who's slowly letting go of the version of themselves you once loved? These are tough questions, I know. We like to believe that love transforms people. That effort, support, and sacrifice shape them into our vision of the one. But the truth is, people only grow in the direction they've chosen for themselves. And this direction, sometimes, only becomes clearer to them later on. They may let you walk beside them, but the path they take is theirs alone. You could support someone through school, feed them with dreams, and lace their way with gold. But if, deep down, they're walking towards something else, it won't matter. They'll still leave. Because growth is not a straight road like you'd wish it to be. It bends toward desire. And when their desire drifts from your direction, no amount of love can course correct that. 2, investment is not control. We confuse sacrifice with influence. We think, after everything I did for you, how could you leave? But love is not a transaction. An investment is not insurance. You could pour your entire being into someone, and still, they will choose what they choose. Why? Because they don't owe you permanence just because you offer consistency. You were generous, yes, but generosity doesn't buy loyalty. And thinking it does is how people end up broken and bitter. That church elder paid school fees, gave her a name, believed in her, probably even designed their future together in his head. But what he missed was this. People don't always become what you groom them to be. Sometimes, they grow out of who they were when you found them. 3, don't fall in love with potential alone. We all want to believe in people, to see the future version of them we imagine, and work to make that version real. But here's the catch. Potential isn't a promise. It's a possibility. And possibilities don't always unfold the way we think they should. The elder fell in love with a beautiful girl full of potential. And for a while, she played the part. But at some point, her vision of herself began to differ from his vision for her. And when that happened, she walked. Because potential is not the same as permission. They may have what it takes, but do they want to take it there with you? You can't love someone just for who they could be. You can't also expect everyone to carry the same weight as you. You have to ask yourself a critical question. Do they even want to become that person you have in mind? Before you load someone with your vision, your pace, your path, pause and think. Are they built for it? Do they want it? And do you truly love them as they are right now? Relationships, especially the serious ones, should be intentional, not just rooted in vibes or attraction. For your own good, for your purpose, And for the road you know you're walking, it's best to align with someone who is already on that same path, especially in matters of spirituality. I told my sister once, who happens to be a deaconess, that marrying a man who loves church is not enough. He has to love to lead in church too, because one day she'll level up in her calling, and when that day comes, she shouldn't expect her husband to magically level up with her. If leadership is not part of his spiritual appetite, he won't follow you up that mountain. He'll love you, but he'll not carry the same burden. So don't just fall for potential. Ask where they're going, ask if they're willing and ready to grow into the kind of person your journey will require. 4. Change is not betrayal, but assuming permanence is. Some changes aren't evil. They're just inconvenient for us. She didn't change overnight. She evolved. Maybe life opened her eyes. Maybe she always had those desires, just didn't have the means to act on them. But what she did do was grow beyond the script written for her. And that's not betrayal. That's human. What hurts most is that we assumed she'd always play the same role, that she'd stay who we first met. That's the real betrayal, the one we committed against ourselves. Growth doesn't ask for permission. And when we cling too tightly to the before version of someone, we betray our own peace. 5. Let go of the fantasy that you can build someone into your ideal. You can help, you can support, you can guide. But the moment you think you can build someone into the perfect partner, you've started a project, not a relationship. And people are not projects. You don't build love. You meet it, you nourish it. But if it's not real from the jump, no amount of effort will create it. Even clay resists a mold that doesn't match its shape. You can't force someone to become who they don't believe they are, no matter how well-meaning your blueprint is. The elder thought he was securing a legacy, a lifelong partner who'd raise his kids and wear white to church beside him forever. But she had her own story, and he wasn't the one writing it. So here's what I'll leave you with. Love people as they are, not as who you hope they'll become. Walk with them, yes. Grow together if possible. But remember, their path is not yours to control. And when they change, and they will, it shouldn't feel like betrayal. It should feel like life, because you too will change. And you'll hope that when you do, the people around you will respect it. So let people be. Let love breathe. Don't hold on to the fantasy. Love what's real while it's real. Because truth is people change, but you can't change them.